Good evening, everybody. Welcome out to another RGL.gg invite. Sixes cast. This is the Nest versus KUOD Damage. My name is Godfather. I'm joined by Jarrett once again. We got Dolphin behind the scenes as always. How you doing tonight, Jarrett?
I'm pretty good. I'm excited to see these two teams because we haven't really, put them in the spotlight too much this season. I'm also always excited to watch more KUOD. Definitely non-stop action, and I don't think today is going to be anything different than what we've seen in the past when it comes to two teams playing on a map like Bagel.
Yeah, Bagel's one that I haven't gotten to cast a lot of the season or at all, actually, ever. So I am also excited for some KUOD, especially on Bagel. And will be fun to get to see these two teams. It's been a while. I think I was able to cast the Nest in their matches very early on in the season, but not on this channel. So it'll be fun to watch them here and see how they've come along. But we'll take a quick look at rosters to start off. Do you want to take KUOD?
Yep, on the side of KUOD Damage, we have Nate and Phone on Scout, Alexandros and Pauldog on Soldier, Stock on Demo, and Indus on Medic. It's important to note that the roster has changed if you were, maybe watching them like week 1 or 2. Lucrative was on Medic, that is no longer the case. And Ed was playing Scout in place of Nate, but Nate has stepped in and is filling his shoes for the rest of the season. So hats off to them for playing, but new roster for KUOD in case you haven't noticed.
I think I actually was casting that match when Indus got subbed in permanently, but for the Nest, we have Gungan on Flank Scout, Esper is on Pocket, Jets the Roamer, Strider on Pocket Soldier, Cray the Demo Man, and Random Cookie holding it down on Medic.
Yep, a little bit of some up-and-comers on the team. Gotta, try to get your first win against a non-move-up team. They're still trying to do the best they can to make sure that happens for them. And who knows, maybe it'll be versus KUOD Damage, although KUOD Damage themselves have put up some pretty nice performances against some other teams. They've had some close matches as well as I would say probably an upset win versus a Rebirth. The question is how will things fare for both these teams on Koth?
Yeah, the Rebirth match you brought up, Rebirth struggling recently, but definitely an upset there. I believe taking in a golden cap, which would have been a fun match to watch. Wasn't able to personally, but I'm definitely interested to see if KUOD Damage is having a maybe a late season burst of energy here and able to take this one tonight cleanly. Unfortunately, both these teams are out of playoff contention, as most of us are aware. We can actually take a quick look at standings just for general information if you'd like, but yeah, but as I said, neither of these teams looking at a playoff spot this season.
Still an important match for both of them. As you can see, there's a red line. I can only assume that if there was a plethora of teams that wanted to play Invite next season and you had to, pick and choose who was going to get the privilege of doing so and who would have to sit back and go down to a lower division, it'd probably be the teams that are below the red line that would have to play in some sort of off-season, pre-season cup, just like it happened this season, to see who gets in and who has to fall down to a lower division. So it's definitely important to make sure that if you want to continue to be in the division for the long term, that you're above this line before the end of the season, I would only assume. Also, like I said previously, the Nest is still looking for their first win, I think, versus a non-move-up team. I think so far their wins have been versus HR Team, which is also a move-up team, but, winning against a team like KUOD Damage, there's some seasoned players on this team. It would be quite the feat to achieve. Last time these two teams played versus each other, it was a 5-4 on process. A very close match, but you have to consider, one, it's 5CP. This is KOTH, and two, KUOD had a little bit of a different roster that time, and whether or not it's going to be stronger or weaker this time around is yet to be seen. On one hand, they're pulling out some very good recent results in terms of, like we said, pulling off upsets or at least having some close matches versus some of their neighboring teams. But on the other hand, I think that KUOD's scrim schedule has been a little bit on the lighter side, so they haven't been grinding as hard. So if there was an opportunity for the Nest to take away a victory, it could be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And just looking at these standings, it's worth noting that we have a pretty darn balanced middle of the pack right now in Invite this season. I think part of that is due to having a 10-team Invite, which is has been really fun to watch, and I think a lot of people both playing and watching have enjoyed that. But we are getting into this. I will let you take it away here on this first mid fight.
Bagel mids always start off a little bit slow, kind of big, a little bit too difficult to go in right off the bat. No soldier bomb, just a little bit of spam, maybe a small amount of bombing from Jets to get some positioning, but nothing too crazy. Some spam wars happening inside the house. I think they're just trying to apply some pressure, try to feel out the other team, try to figure out where they want to go, and it's Gungan that's going to start pressuring the doorway with Jets onto Paulo, try to put some extra damage, but not quite finding a kill quite yet. Blocking the point is both the scouts, but they have to be careful without losing their lives. They're both red health. Phone, all the way down to 12 HP, has to be very careful. We'll get an arrow and be able to be okay, and the Ubers are probably going to come into play here very, very soon. 95% as blue team begins to re-pressure the point.
No one dying yet. Now Esper, I believe, is the first frag of this very drawn-out mid. We're going to see both teams, as you said, holding on to Uber now, and we're going to have Jets jumping in there. He's going to get denied a bit, have to heal up a bit. No Ubers coming into play quite yet. Phone is going to respawn soon as, oh, there goes Gungan. Will be taken out on the flank. Going to make it hard to push in without that added spam potential, and the cap is going to go back in favor of the Nest here. Maybe Craig going down. He's going to get spammed out a lot by both soldiers, taking a lot of damage to the Uber. He's going to finally come out after a very drawn-out mid fight, as I already said, trying to save that demo and successful in doing so. Pauldog now looking for a little bit of spam. There goes Alexandros trading out, but Gungan will go down. 2 down for the side of Red, missing a scout and soldier. And Nate looking to get healed up here. Random Cookie eating a bit of spam, so is Cray. Not a lot else happening. Nate taking a 1v1
no
and
demo,
he
though.
will win that, I believe. Yeah, as you said, no demo for the side of blue, but Red loses 4, and that will be a lost fight for them.
Oh, that was a very long, drawn-out fight. A lot of hold back and forth, and it took a bit for the Ubers to finally go off, but finally did happen eventually, so have a lot of time off the clock. We finally get a little bit of a reset. Teams are able to put some sort of defense as the red team begins to push their way back, try to use the player advantage they have to begin to scan across the point.
Cray
goes
goes in!
and Inda right off the back. The Dell man on the red team making plays. Good job to Cray, and Pauldog's trying to salvage, but not able to quite hit the mark. Random Cookie only losing like 40 HP, gonna be A-okay, and that is going to end Blue's hold of the point as Nate hightails it out of there and back to his teammates that are respawning.
That was just a crazy jump in there from Cray. Going in, finding the meta kill, and plenty of other damage on that, so well done from him. Looks like we're going to see a little bit of aggressive nature from these scouts on the side of KUOD Damage. They're wanting to get in here. Nate getting a bit of damage onto Cray, not finding a kill quite yet. Pauldog now jumping in, seeing if he can finish anything up. Will not be able to. There goes Alexandros jumping all the way in. Won't be able to find anything as 3 go down to the side of blue. Stock getting very low before getting an arrow very late. He'll be backing off to try to get healed up a little bit more as spawners are finally going to start coming back in for the side of KUOD Damage.
Lots of damage on the side of the red team, but not necessarily all in the same place, and that's just going to be a failed sack wave. No one falls on the side of the Nest, so they are fully set up and ready for try number 2 of the blue team trying to pressure forward. And doesn't have a scooper quite yet. Didn't think he had a scout with him or something like that, so it's going to be a bit before they're able to actually use an Uber to really take and pressure the point, but it seems like so far the teams aren't wanting to necessarily use Uber right off the bat anyway. A little bit of a slow-paced fight trying to get the point. Have to be careful with stickies, though. You don't want to accidentally eat a trap and immediately die, but it seems like Phone is going to be immediately coming into the Uber, but Stock. I don't think he wanted to be in that, but it got dropped or something on accident, so no dome for this post-fight. Phone left to dry. Pauldog is going to get picked off as well, so that is just crumbling. Trying to salvage. Strider goes in and collapses. He recognizes the player that he has. He's jumping in. He gets those 2 frags and solidifies this hold for the red team even further.
Yeah, great collapse there at the end, as you mentioned, finding that medic and 1 more to really hold down this point. 20 seconds left on the cap right now for the side of the Nest, as they have been dominant, getting a very aggressive positioning onto Concrete right now, holding their medic there as well. Here comes Alexandros. He's going to find Jets. 1 soldier down for the side of Red. Here comes the soldier jumping in, trying to get anything onto Esper. Unable so far. Cap time coming in for the side of blue. They will cap it out pretty cleanly as the side of the Nest is going to be backing out, but it looks like they might be getting ready to push back in here. They're at 90% to just 60 for the side of KUOD Damage, so they have the advantage here to push right back in, and it looks like they're getting ready to. Here does come the Uber. Cray's going to jump in again, trying to find damage onto Indus, and it gets a sticky, but not much else. Pressure in onto Phone, and they do get Phone. Indus down to 30.
Oh,
He
no.
will go down. Strider cleaning up that kill on a 5K right now. Great job from him. Pressure onto point from the side of KUOD Damage, but only 2 alive, and they will be likely getting cleaned up. RGLgg took a bit of spam, getting down to 41 health, but will live, and we will see first round going in favor of the Nest.
They almost escaped from that, but it's lingered a little bit too long, and I think Cray and friends recognize that, continue to persist that attack on the right side with their Uber and able to clean up the kills necessary to make sure that that cap goes in their favor and the round. So, gonna see a second mid fight this time. Curious as if the pace is gonna stay the same way, and we're gonna see about a minute burned off the clock before we see some sort of a lull happening in the fight, and it seems like the pace is gonna be somewhat similar. Gonna feel everyone out, making sure that you know exactly how the other team is set up and how they're gonna execute. Soldier Bomb going in onto the demo, want to take Cray out of the picture, but not able to quite get him. He's gonna be able to get it back, and that is 2 soldiers and a medic down immediately for the blue team. Have to go in and salvage the best you can. Phone is in the thick of it, trying to make sure he can clean up deaths. Is able to get that kill, trying to get onto RGLgg, very, very low, 19 HP, but he's inside. There's no way they're gonna be able to get him. He's actually going all the way back to spawn. A very, very smart play. Don't want to risk it. So they will forego the cap, red team, but ultimately with their medic being alive, they're in a decent position to be able to re-push and take it right back.
Yeah, Nest and RGLgg specifically, I think, are playing this pretty cleanly so far tonight. They do lose the cap here, but a full Uber to work with, and we're going to just see them walk right back in. We might see another Cray jump coming in. That's been typical of the Ubers, but so far, slow and steady is the pace. Chat's pretty low on the flank here. We saw Phone Alexander's going in, but he will get killed by the traps, I believe. And Bulldog also very weak. He's going to get healed up a bit. Here comes a Soldier Bomb trying to get in onto the demo. Unable to find it much. Bulldog does go down. Esper trades out on the other side of things. Now Jets will be the kill. On the, yeah, so 2 down for each side. Cap's going to remain in favor of the Nest here, as it's 40 ad right now and closing as KUOD Damage is building up.
Yeah, Alex is going to be a late death too, so a little bit not finding what you want in terms of the soldiers bombing in and not hitting the mark, not able to get the medic force, not able to find the soldiers. A little bit of a disaster, but there is something they can work with. Indust is at 90%, so this can be salvaged. Just have to make sure that Bulldog doesn't die. Seems like they were a little bit staggered, but it can work out for them as long as they're not too dangerous about what they're doing. Strider getting very weak. The Uber will come in, almost dropped Cray, very, very weak, but will eventually get saved. Indust blasts the backbone, has to be careful about his health, but he will be okay at the end of the day. Gets another flash to make sure he escapes. Now the post Uber's triggered a little bit. Cray's in the back line, so no Demo Man span, and that will be Blue's positioning, but Esper and Young and the Scout Show is definitely on the table right now for the side of the Nest. Nate is trying to clean up Strider and will successfully get that frag, but the player advantage is in the favor of the red team. Blue team does respawn, but they're not quite there yet, so that will be a successful turn in the cap. Blue team, no. I think they recognize that they have their players coming in soon, so immediately getting right back on that cap, trying to apply some pressure and spam. Going on a Jets, Bulldog is inside the house, not able to find anything though, not quite the fall they need to be able to collect that kill. Some good spam out of Esper though is going to be able to collect that frag, and Nate's going very, trying to take one moment with Duncan, almost able to get him.
Get the frag! Oh, so close with that bomb. Not able to pick it up. Even Uber is 90% for each team. 145 left on the clock for red, but blue is in control of point. So we'll see how the side of the Nest wants to push into this. I'm expecting an early Uber use. Hopefully it's not forced out. We got some traps to contest with. The death did come in, so don't have to worry about that anymore, as Bulldog is going to be an early death in this fight, which should open up a little bit for the Nest to decide to push in here. They will pop this Uber. It's going to be a scout v scout, not finding a lot. Now we're going to see how the post Uber plays out, as Cray now getting a flash, and he's going to jump in a bit, taking a lot of damage, go down to half and will die. A nice juggle there by the demo. Indus did take a lot of damage though, getting down below 70 health before backing off and staying alive. Now it's just a battle of DM right now, trying to see if any team can pick up a kill in this post fight. Not finding a lot. There goes Phone, actually deleted by Strider as he came in. A lot of soldiers jumping across the point. Cap looks like it will finally come in for the side of the Nest, as blue is stabilizing and getting out.
Blue was able to get that down pick in the post Uber, and it was a decent opportunity for them to use, but ultimately weren't able to find anything that they really wanted. It seems like some 1v1s across the board are not necessarily going their way, but a decent team fight could work in their favor. They have a pick to work off of. Jets is behind in some capacity, but they do know that he exists, so have to be careful. He's bombing in onto Indus. He's not looking. Indus gonna surf one rocket up in the air, barely weak 8 HP.
Yeah,
It's gonna clean up by his scout. Oh, I feel like they knew that he was there, but at the end of the day, the pistol from Phone though, the salvage, he'll take 2. He'll be fine with that. But red team, I think they've realized that with no scouts, this is not anything super feasible. Able to clean up 1 kill, but not without Strider dying for it.
is behind.
Going in really deep, they got a little bit greedy, and they will get forced. They had the perfect idea to back up, and they just saw these kills in the doorways, thought they could get them in, or gonna get forced. They're able to get a demo with it though, so 2 kills for force isn't terrible, but now it's no longer an ad situation. It's going to be an even dry fight. they can only really work off the fact that they have 2 picks here and can do somewhat of a forward hold for this upcoming push from the blue team.
Yeah, it's definitely something to watch out for, the forward hold opportunity to get a lot of damage in stock.
no
Is going to be an
demo.
early kill, though, and that will slow down the push out of KUOD Damage as they try to take some ground onto concrete, but Random Cookie's holding very aggressively, pocketing his soldier and demo, keeping them healthy as they just exchange spam here on the right side as the push out has to come soon. Got 40 seconds left on the clock for both teams. Here comes a bit of a pressure, but Phone is going to be the first to die. Bulldog following, and there goes Nate as well. Crazy only trade out. 3 for a demo. Not what you want to see. Random Cookie got low, but will live. Both teams coming up on full Uber for this next fight.
Yeah, at the very least, you break the forward hold and are able to do it for the second time. Is this the silver lining? If you can't have it work out the first time, at least the second time would be good. So no demo on the side of the red team. Trying to apply some spam really early on. Jet's getting very weak and have to go and back up for a pack. And there is an opening here for an Uber exchange to come out. Phone going in. Gungan is going to die in the Uber. Will be reciprocated on the side of the red team. Actually, Indus even used. He just ran across. I thought the Indus used way earlier, but he only uses right now. So decent advantage for the blue team. Alexander's going in and able to collect Random Cookie. So that's the medic down for the red team. The blue team just need to make sure that they back up the best they can. KUOD Damage are in the driver's seat right now, able to collect the kill onto Esper, and Cray bombing in the air, gonna get denied. Probably would have created anyway, but Phone will collect that kill. And overall, broke the forward hold, took a decent Uber exchange, didn't even have to use right off the bat. And they're in a good spot to be able to hold, but Bulldog dying there is going to actually Caster's curse me. And now with the player disadvantage, this is not exactly where they want to be in to be able to hold this point. Stock going to immediately die from the side house. Jess is going to die for it, but he is not going to get here. He'll take that demo kill any day of the week. Spam continuing to rain down. Alexander's trying to do the same thing, but not quite hitting the mark in terms of collecting the players. Phone getting pipe, going to get down to 7 HP and die to the roller. Alexander's trying to hop on a high ground and Nate pressuring as well to make sure they maintain control of this cap. Only 6 seconds left in overtime on the other side of the board with 1 scout down on the blue team. The red team trying to pressure the best they can to make sure the cap time save. The soldiers are bursting out of the side doors. Esper is going to fall. Red team has to make sure they are able to get on this cap. Uber comes out. Another Uber change on the side of both teams with no demo as Stock is going to die. Indus popping in the air for this post here. Has to be careful. Alexander's dying as well. This is abysmal for the blue team. They have to get on the point and make sure they block in. Red team. That Uber exchange changed everything. Things were going in KUOD's favor, but it just does not work out at the end of the day. The Uber exchange changes everything, and they collect their second round into the halftime.
And that's looking pretty darn good here as we go into half with a solid 2-0. Second round did get into overtime, but definitely some dominant play. We'll pull up some logs here. I'll let you take first crack at those as I try to pull them up.
Cray almost reaching 500 DPM is definitely something to note. Obviously, Doman is very good on Koth, but usually you don't see a Doman doing 500 DPM. Usually, or 474 to be exact. It usually means there's something going wrong. Not either he's playing out of his mind, or someone is not necessarily doing what they need to do to be able to punish him properly. So that's definitely something to take note of. Strider is going to be with him in terms of collecting the kills, so it's going to be not the scout show in terms of making sure that frags are secured, which is usually, not the common occurrence. Usually you just see the hit scanners are the ones that are actually securing the frags, but not for the nest. On the side of KUOD, Phone's going to be topping up the kills, but it's not too much more than the bottom people on the nest, so I mean, it kind of makes sense because they're not able to necessarily convert the rounds, but we do have Bulldog showing a very nice fat 400 DPM, which is, pretty solid, but in terms of pocket counterparts, there's nothing too crazy. He's also had to die a decent amount for that damage. I think I saved the most important thing for last, for sure, is going to be the medic deaths. Definitely contributes to who is going to be able to hold the point if you have an Uber or not, and the fact that Random Cookie only died 1 time, where Indus died 5, can make or break whether that last round that was played goes in the favor of KUOD or the nest. Even 1, 2 less medic deaths on the side of Indus could have netted for him, but at the end of the day, that was not so.
Yeah, definitely what I'm seeing in these logs is Cookie only dying once, as he pointed out. That just allows the side of the nest to really stay in the fight for longer and get the damage in, whereas side of KUOD Damage had to back out a lot more frequently and just dropping players faster. So great play so far from the side of the nest, taking it 2-0 in the first half. Hopefully we'll be getting ready pretty soon, but haven't seen anything. I think people are trying to figure out win limit, not what you like to see this late into the season.
Hey, sometimes, you pick ban and it ends up being 5CP all the way up until it's time to actually play Koth, and, configs are different, it is what it is. I think they can definitely use this time, though, whoever is owning the server for either of these teams to figure out who is actually going to be able to fix the config. They got plenty of time to talk about what they want to change, and if you're on the side of the nest, what changes you should expect out of KUOD. Obviously, up in Invite, there are going to be some adapting happening. We actually saw that in the very last round where it was very, very close and went overtime, which was not what was happening in the first round. So KUOD, it seems like they have a decent idea of some things need to change, and they have even more time now to talk about, for a longer period of time, what they need to be adjusting. I feel like when I'm watching them, I'm seeing a bunch of different 1v1s happen at once, or at least like there's a certain level of coordination that's not quite there, and I guess that's kind of to be expected because they're not really heavily scrimming, so it's going to take them a sec for them to really come online. But the question is will it be enough to fight back this deficit? You could say that, okay, you can have an even game for the second half, but you can't have an even game. Nest is already leading by 2 rounds. If it just ends up being a 1-1 and then a 2-2 game, it's over. They've reached 4 rounds. Nest wins at that point. So really got to make sure that you completely flip things around and make sure things go 2-0 in your favor if you're the side of KUOD. And the question is, obviously, like I said, how do they want to do that?
I think part of this, if the side of KUOD Damage wants to get this win out, it's going to be on stock. He's really got to pick up the pace here, doing decent damage, but not finding a lot of frags, and I think that is, something that if he's able to pick it up here, that'll do better. And we are getting ready up here. I'm going to take us through this mid as we'll watch the rollouts happening, but I'm excited to see what changes the side of KUOD Damage's mid.
Yep. A little bit slow pace as normal is probably what we're going to be seeing, at least I would expect, in terms of the soldiers bombing, and that is what is going to be the case for now. But I'm curious of how, once they start eyeing things out, how things will go, Godfather.
Yeah, and getting in onto this mid, gonna be very slow so far, actually. No scouts committing. Paul's going to be the first to die. I think that was on the flank. Didn't quite see it. And now Alexandra's actually going to fall as well. Trading up for Jets. No soldiers to the side of Blue is going to really hamper their attempt to cap here. But a clean cap coming in from the side of the nest to start things off here in the second half. And it's looking pretty good for them. Very uneventful mid so far, though.
Yep, just saw the one isolated kill and went for it, and KUOD was done after that. But they have an Uber now to potentially walk across the point. Double soldier bomb coming in very early on a random cookie. Gonna be able to surf that 5 HP, has to pop because otherwise he'd die from fall damage. Losing Paul Dog for it as they rush across the point and try to get on the stock. He will survive from his medic's Uber as they chase down random cookie. Very low, not gonna be able to have an Uber this time. Phone collects 2 as well as Esper on top of that. Now comes the bomb in from the red soldier and Demo, and immediately Indus could not even surf, immediately melted. 2 players left alive on the side of the red team, trying to clean it the best they can. Phone is very weak, but it's not going to be the scout they go for, but doesn't even need to, is collects an 8, just 2 rockets. Okay, good job, Strider, then. So overall, they are able to hold this point for now, but Paul Dog very weak, 5 HP, needs to make sure he's not chasing Strider. Another scout kill. He's just on a roll right now, and that is going to be enough for them to go ahead and retake this cap. No scouts, no point.
Yeah, no scouts. It makes it very hard to get that cap in. Here comes the soldier jumping in his Paul Dog, but he will get deleted. Not quite able to find enough damage to get a kill there. Now, trying to push out onto concrete is the side of KUOD Damage. They're going to walk forward here with their scouts and Demo. At about a 20% disad, we'll see if we'll have an immediate pop from the side of Random Cookie in the nest, but nothing quite yet. There goes Phone, taken out by some stickies from Cray. Indus also getting very low. If a bomb comes in, that could get the kill. Not seeing much yet. It doesn't look like the nest is ready to aggress. They're going to just hold this off, have come up to full Uber now. This Indus is approaching 85%. Could see an early Uber come in. Unclear. Looks like they're going to play this pretty passively. Phone getting onto point early. Quick cap time established. Oh, but he's going to get destroyed there by Gungan. Now Indus with full Uber. We're going to see how they decide to pipe. Here to trade a cookie. Oh, almost taken out on a bomb as he is forced out. Indus
he got out too. Alex got out after that bomb, didn't even die. So now full Uberad for the side of Indus, and his friends are able to take this point. Red team behind though, Jets bombing in, able to get the fourth. The rest of the team following in suit. Cray and the other soldier in Strider going in will get cleaned up though. Ultimately unnecessary, but good attempt nonetheless. Wasn't guaranteed that immediate force is going to happen anyway, so understandable. Successfully getting that force, just a normal sack wave, and the cap will be in the favor of KUOD Damage, but they're down Alexander. It's going to be a little bit rough to stuff things really hard. Dog trying to go behind to create some sort of distraction to make sure that he can get his team set up properly in some capacity, but he will eventually get cleaned up. Alex is not quite there yet. With no soldiers in position to spam, this is a very easy walk up for them to immediately start getting on the point and applying a lot of extra pressure on the side of the blue team. Stock has to be careful. He's going to get jumped on as the soldier is behind, gets popped up and will eventually die. Esper cleaning up 3 kills. He's on a roll right now. Will he collect 4 is the question. Not quite. It'll be his soldier pair that is able to collect those kills and solidify their retake of the point.
Indus dying there is going to make it really hard for them to push out. Phone does swap onto Sniper. We're going to see if he's able to pick up anything. Esper cleaning up Dog late now, as he's very aggressive in his positioning, taking a 1v1 versus a soldier, but Alexandros will be able to find him with some splash damage, and Dre taken out by Phone. A nice headshot there, as we'll see the side of KUOD Damage wanting to push in here, as they also picked up Jets. It's 3 down for the side of the Nest. And RGLgg holding on to his full ad, but unable to really use it with such a player to sad.
Yeah, now you gotta be mindful of the sniper too. Gotta make sure you spot the angles to the best of your ability, and make sure you don't pop so early that your Uber's not able to do anything. So something that we haven't seen quite, and we'll have to see how effective they are. Seems like they're gonna go the house routes to be able to collect some kills, and they are able to get one at the very least. The soldier's going in very deep and actually able to get both soldiers inside. Oh my god, it's just a meat grinder on the inside of this house phone. The sniper, last one left alive, not able to do quite very much, and it seems like the setup wasn't quite suited for the sniper, and the Nest definitely knew what they needed to do to make sure some kills are collected to be able to forward hold as they're doing right now.
Now Dog coming up on Spy. Is he going forward? I think he is going forward. And we'll see if I think he might have taken some damage, so he'll probably swap off, and he does after getting caught. Unfortunate there. Nate's going to die early here. Jet's taking him out with some splash damage, I believe, on the flank side. Stock exchanging a lot of spam, and he will pick up that kill, as now Dog wants to come in. He's going to jump onto point, try to pick up the demo if he's able. Gets 2 rockets onto him. That's not going to be enough with overheal, as Cray will stay alive now. 10 seconds left on the clock. Now down to 5, as Stock is going to get on point. Phone also there with Indus. Ad in favor of RGLgg right now, but doesn't have it quite yet. Phone is going to be the first to die, as Gungan's now just going to be respawning. There's pressure onto the medic right now by Dog. Are they able to find anything? No. He will go down, I believe. No, he's going to stay alive.
Oh, the Jet's flank.
Jet's flank, but the Uber does come in right now from the side of the Nest. They're jumping on into Indus. Indus is very low right now, and he'll finally get Uber just in time to live, but the cap comes in, and the Nest is able to take that cleanly. A very aggressive Uber just getting right in the face of KUOD Damage and able to secure that. This is looking pretty rough for the side of KUOD Damage.
Backed up to make sure you get the Uber, but not quite close enough to be able to rush to the point in time. A little bit of positioning error is going to cost them that cap, and so far at match point, a very fast soldier bomb on RGLgg. They're done playing the slow mids, trying to get on the Cray to be able to clean up the demo, and they will succeed in that regard. But the soldiers are going ahead and going for some sort of house flank. Have to make sure they do play this really fast, or it's not going to really work out. Jets, last frag class alive.
Go down.
He's 26 HP.
Nate, chase it! Chase it!
Oh no.
No fear, please, come on. Oh, he could have gone for that and gotten the easy kill. Now Cray respawning, and the cap will come through, but opportunity there to pick up RGLgg, and just a, a miss.
I mean, he was afraid of getting sawed or arrowed or something. I think he was weak and needed to pack, but regardless, that's going to be RGLgg being able to maintain his Uber. Doesn't have it quite yet, and Nate will immediately die right off the bat, so that's a scout down for the side of the blue team. Going to be a little bit rough. Try to control this health. Both soldiers are able to collect Esper and Jets. That's a very nice play on the side of Dog and his soldier partner Alexander applying some support, so immediately red team's push dead in the water, so have to wait even longer. First time for the Uber, second time for the players, third time. Will the defense of the blue team be enough? Some soldier initiation on the side of the flank to be able to push them backwards as they begin to push across the point, or at least kind of eye a little bit. The Uber will eventually come out, and this exchange will be underway.
Yeah, not a lot of frags being found in the Uber. Phone's going to get a flash to stay alive. Good job by Indus to get that, keep this scout alive. Gungan will die. Poster, yeah, coming in. RGLgg going to go down. Dog with a huge bomb, getting in there to clean up the med. Indus right now staying alive on concrete with his team, as 3 die in that fight for the side of the Nest. Ryder being the last to die. Esper now trying to get in, but he will be cleaned up by Nate. And a 1 fight here for the side of KUOD Damage, as the aggression seems to be the key right now in defeating the Nest.
Yep, just gotta keep making adjustments until you find something that works, and so far this is working for them at the very least. No cap time for the side of the red team, and they're trying to get their first bit of it now, but they've already lost Jets. They're able to collect Alex, but not without sending everyone's health into the red. They're able to collect some kills, no scouts inside the blue team, but yeah, Indus is very low, will eventually go down to Esper, so good job on the side of him, and he wants more. He's able to collect stock, and it is just PaulDog left alive. Maybe he'll be able to collect Cray? No, Cray's kind of jumping off, so trying to put some rockets onto the scouts. We'll jump up high into the sky and see if he can collect anything else. He's able to get that last rocket. Wow, so there's not going to be a Doman on the side of the red team to be able to have some sort of defense here, which is definitely the opening you need, but Jet's going for a play himself, trying to do some hiding spot, not able to find anything, is going to be an even bigger opening for the blue team to just run in here and get the cap back in their favor.
Here they come right onto the cap, and not a lot of defense coming in, as you mentioned. No demo. Strider trying to take a little bit of position.
Cray's
He's gonna get contested. Yeah, Cray's gonna go all the way in, get taken out by Nate. Indus got very low there, unable to clean it up there. Strider's behind though, trying to jump in, and they get him! A huge find there, as Indus will go down. Random Cookie now holding on to his Uber in spawn. 60 seconds left on the clock for KUOD Damage, but no Uber to work with, and they will be at a disad here for sure. Alexandros is going to be an early death as well. That's going to make it really hard for them to hold on to Cap any longer than they will otherwise, as now it's all on the side of Random Cookie and the Nest. Clean up this Cap and hold it on as long as possible.
Oh, the trap! The perfect trap, immediately dropping the med. Good job by Stack on collecting that, and that's going to keep his team in the thick of it and make sure they can hold on to this for at least a little bit longer. Nate is going to die. It's going to be a soldier duel that PaulDog eventually wins, as the rest of the red team barrels away through, trying to collect the Dust kill, but he is out of there. He is all practically by spawn. Asper tries to go in, see if he can collect anything, but Indus is nowhere to be found. Gets that pack, and he's A-okay, so good job by the blue team. Alex trying to collect some early kills as well for this upcoming fight. Gray is not going to be necessarily ready. With 15 seconds left on the clock, that could make or break whether or not this push works. Realistically, the red team has to start pushing now to get some cap time on this board, Godfather.
Yeah, and they're going to be trying to get in as fast as possible. Someone needs to touch as soon as possible. There we go, got a scout on point. Alexander is going to be jumping in, trying to get onto Random Cookie. He will find a rocket, but not enough to do anything else. The Uber comes out from the side of KUOD Damage, trying to take out Esper early here. There's time on the clock, and there goes Random Cookie, taken out by Stock, although there's pressure from the scouts that really enabled the kill. Only 2 alive, one's a spawner, as the first round will come in for KUOD. It is 3-1 in the second half. Nice turnaround there so far from KUOD, but still a dicey situation.
Yep, they found the ticket. So far, making individual plays and aggression is working out for them. But the question is will it continue? You have a moment to make some adjustments on the side of the nest. The question is how will they respond? Going to see a little bit of the earlier mids start reappearing again. No soldiers are bombing right off the bat as we saw previously. So it seems like it's going to be a one-off thing for the side of KUOD Damage. Going to try to eye out the other team and figure out where everyone's sitting. And it looks to be pretty cookie cutter for now. Although the side of the blue team's health is not necessarily the best. So red team definitely doing a very good job at applying extra spam. That's going to allow them to get a little bit of the cap time. Nothing to call home about, but going to be enough to call some sort of notice. Going to be a soldier duel that happens that Alexander barely wins. That's going to be a player advantage for the side of the blue team. Stock trying to take point, and Phone will clean up the damage that he applies onto Gungan. So 2 down. Going to be Jets trying to make some sort of salvage play. Not able to quite hit the mark. Cray's going to die. And Jets.
Yeah, Ubers could have come into play there if Cray had stayed alive just a bit longer, but Random Cookie will get out to spawn, and we'll see KUOD Damage looking to hold on here, but fight's definitely going to come in soon. We'll see the Uber's very aggressive on the side of KUOD Damage, but Random Cookie's able to pop right back. No frags being found. The side of red isn't quite in yet. Here comes Cray trying to jump up, get some spam onto Stock. Not getting a kill, but good damage. Alexander's down to 4 health. He will go down to the bleed from Gungan. Finding that kill, Strider will die on the other side of things. Cray very low, down to 15 health. Instead, it's Gungan who's going to fall as Cray gets healed up by his medic. And Phone now just ready to bot right in onto Cray. They'll find Cray.
The scout show now.
A huge play there from Phone. The scout's able to clean up all the damage. And Strider and Gungan only once alive after that. PaulDog is behind, maybe looking for a spawn camp opportunity. Let's see, is he able to jump in onto Random Cookie? He's waiting for it. I definitely want to see this. Maybe it's going to be a 1v1. No, he's just waiting. What's the play here by PaulDog?
Seems like it's going to be a little bit of a later play coming in once the fight actually starts, since he's not able to find anyone going down that path. He's making sure no one spots him because he doesn't want anyone on the pack to necessarily see what he's doing, but this is the initiation that Blue could use to be able to push. It seems like he's waiting until they actually get the Uber before he pulls the trigger, and now he's going. He sees that Random Cookie's in a decent spot. He's some damage onto him. The Uber was not coming out of Indus quite yet. Their timing a little bit off. The Uber will finally come out and able to crate, but not necessarily finding the mark on a Random Cookie. So a little bit of miscommunication in terms of when the soldier should actually go and the information being fed to him. So they get the demo, but at the end of the day, Random Cookie at 80% Uber. Not too much longer till he gets his, and it seems like they're gonna start working down the lower left area to begin this push. Alexander's trying to bomb, realizes it's a little bit of a bait, doesn't commit, so he will be here to make sure that they're able to do something. But Nate is gonna be the pick that happens inside house. So good job by Jesse collecting that, and that's one scout less to run Indust out from this Uber that will come in from the red team.
Yeah, but they're gonna lose Jets early though, but Alexandros and Phone both taken out immediately afterwards, and that Paul Dog is also gonna die. So 4 down for the side of Blue right now, as Red's gonna have a commanding hold onto this point. They're gonna look for a forward hold. We'll see. Indus was able to get out. Bit of a quick fight there, won by the side of the Nest. They have a 40% ad to hold on to right now. Alexandros is going to, I think, eat a bit of spam. Paul Dog now exchanging onto Concrete. KUOD Damage is just able to push right out. Paul Dog kind of solo on that. Alexandros is going to be the one jumping in. He will get taken out by Esper as he was eating a lot of damage. The Force does come in. Now there's a demo behind. Stock is just going to get deleted. So they achieve the Force, but don't get any kills in it. And we'll see the forward hold again, but probably not for long, as Indus does have his Uber.
Yeah, first you don't succeed, try again. First sack wave didn't work, but second one succeeds. And now they have an Uber to work with. Phone's gonna start peeking the stores. It seems like this is gonna be the route they decide to take, and gonna have to fight against some soldier spam, but nothing too crazy as they're able to work their way through the doors, and the right team once again backs up, doesn't do anything too insane, and make sure they can survive through this. Jet's gonna die. Crate's gonna actually bomb it and try to go for the Force, but Stock is just in the thick of it, able to collect. Gungan is by Paul Dog, and Phone collecting Strider as well. So some decent frags, but ultimately you could equivalent this to a sack wave. Realistically, the medic is the one they really want to make sure they kill, so they don't have to teeter-totter back and forth across the point, trading the cap back and forth. Make sure they can hold on to it for a long period of time. So they get 4 kills, but they're not necessarily the 4 kills they wanted. Random Cookie at 90%, and a kill on the Gungan is going to make things a little bit easier. Esper as well, so even though they have this Uber, there's no scout to use. The crumbling is happening, and it seems like the blue team is in a good position to be able to continue to hold on to this. Definitely making the most out of a bad situation with disad, and they will have a second attempt to have their forward hold and mitigating the disad by that much more.
Yeah, now it's onto the Nest to push in here. Gungan's just going to walk forward a bit. Random Cookie getting a little bit of spam, but not much. Phone might go down. He will get taken out finally by Strider, cleaning up on that damage. And Nate is also going to go down now. Alexandros, 3 down right now for the side of KUOD Damage. Paul Dog also getting very low. Umer still for Random Cookie as Indus is trying to build up here. And 12 seconds left on the clock, so, gotta get this point in if Nest wants to clean it up here, but we'll see now a bit of a repush opportunity for the side of KUOD Damage. Both teams with full Uber. The Scout's going to take a lot of damage early if that's Phone, but he will get Jets instead. Now it's Uber that we're waiting for, and here it comes onto the Scout. It's Phone on this mainly, milking that for a while is Random Cookie as he finally does pop in. Phone now trying to get behind. He'll just get cleaned up by Gungan in the ads. Cray not finding a lot of damage. Alexander's down to 4 health though, and Nate is at 10. Gungan's gonna die instead. Nate finally going down, but they're gonna stop getting Random Cookie. That will be big. Indus getting down below 70 health right now as Cap looking like it's gonna come in for Blue. Only 2 alive. Strider now the only one left for the side of the Nest. He's gonna heal up a little bit, try to get in to stall this point out for as long as possible. No, he's gonna die late, it looks like. No one's able to get onto point right now, and we will see KUOD Damage holding on a little bit longer, and we're gonna have a, 3-2 situation?
Yep, seems like they've made the adjustments needed to make sure things are going in their favor, and now all not is lost. They are definitely still in this game, and 2 rounds for KUOD could put them back into this and make sure they secure this match, but Nest still sitting pretty at 1 more round left to go until they win it as well. Close one so far. Gonna have to take a look at the stats to see if anything changed a little bit, or if we're gonna be seeing the same story as the first half.
Yeah, pulling those up. Stock now with 409 DPM at the top of the list there. Only 10 frags, but I think he's definitely turned it around. Exactly what I wanted to see from him. And yeah, then following behind in terms of damage are Strider and Esper with 3d4, 356 respectively. And Medic deaths have evened up a little bit, Indus with 5, Cookie with 7, so turning that around a little bit as well. What else are you looking at in these logs?
I think it's mostly compounding to the people that did insane on the side of the nest in the previous house did not have as spectacular of a match. Random Cookie's 1 death is all the way multiplied to 7, and Craze all near 500 DPM is practically cut in half. So KUOD Damage definitely recognized the things they needed to change and the players they needed to focus to make sure that they were cleaned up, and they definitely did a good job at it to make sure that the half could go in their favor. Definitely have some good showing still from the side of the nest that they were showing life, and was able to collect them that one round at the end of the day. Esper at a solid 25 kills, topping the server and by his team by a long shot. And Strider still putting out a decent amount of damage on Soldier, but it is going to be the stock show, as you said, and he's the one taking the turn, putting out all the damage when it comes to the Doman on Bagel department, and Nate making sure that kills are cleaned up for his team as well. That's one thing. The scouts are actually cleaning up kills this half. Previously, it was the projectile classes that were actually the ones securing the frags, but it seems like it's going to be scouts this time, and that probably leads towards a little bit of better coordination, which is definitely what KUOD needed to make sure that they could come out this half on top. The question is will they continue it and be able to close off this round with 2? Or if Nest only 1 round needed, we'll be able to make sure they get their first win versus a non-move up team.
Yeah, I'm really interested. I'm at this point. I don't even know who to want to win this. It's really been a fun match to watch. We do have one team readying up. I'm excited to take this mid away as soon as possible because it's just been very exciting. Especially the change in pace from KUOD Damage is something that I've really enjoyed to see. As they started off slow, as you pointed out a couple times, but then in this second half, after going down 2-0, they decided to take very aggressive mids, and I've really enjoyed seeing that, and it's worked out for them so far, as they have taken it 2-1 since going down 2-0. So yeah, 3-2 situation in favor of the Nest. It is match point for them, all really on KUOD to clean things up.
Yep, and so far it's kind of in the Nest's favor to be able to actually adapt it and change something. I mean, you can make little small things, but after having a half that was so good and then just kind of flips around and KUOD is able to get 2, if you're from their perspective, you gotta wonder, what went wrong? What do we gotta change? What do we have to do to make sure that the third half ends up being like the first one? And I guess it's ultimately up to them, but it's still something to think about. Is they definitely need to make sure that things are closed out. Be a big bummer from their perspective if you get this good lead and then all of a sudden it's a little bit of a reverse. But we should be going live soon here. I think the teams have gone live in real time, so it should not be too much longer until things go underway and we get to see who will come out on top for this match.
Yeah, really fun one to watch so far, though. We had a bit of a bait with one team readying up. Don't know how much longer it will be, but what do you think of the adjustments that we'll be seeing coming in from both these teams before this last half?
I think KUOD has started to do good at target selection. So if there was anyone on the Nest that was kind of lazy with their positioning and accidentally isolating themselves, it was definitely started to be punished in the second half. So they probably need to tighten up on an individual basis to make sure you're near your teammates. So if you get chased, at least the frag gets traded and it's just a 1-for-1 instead of you just getting picked off for free. So it's probably something that they'd be thinking about on an individual basis. But we are getting a little bit of bait when it comes to the ready up. So like I said, we are live in real time. At least I think Esper was lagging, so that's why it's taking a sec for teams to ready up. But as I said before, with the previous time of them not readying up because of the config, it just gives them more time to talk about what they need to change. So at the end of the day, I don't think it's anything too crazy you have to worry about because it just benefits the team. So
Yeah, and now finally we have the ready up coming in after a few baits. Hopefully no lag issues as coming in now. Again, it's a 3-2 situation in favor of the Nest. Match point for them, looking to pick up their first win against a non-move up team. And KUOD hoping to, able to secure this out. But here we go, onto this mid. We're going to see a little bit of spam coming in over both sides, trading out over point. Fairly slow, though. We're not seeing any aggressive plays so far from the side of KUOD Damage, especially looking for quick bomb from them. Hopefully, Alexander's on the flank, gonna duel a little bit with Gungan and Strider there, but very slow and steady. It's the pace right now, as Chet's now rotating around, maybe looking for a bomb here now. Finally, some pressure onto point from Gungan, as both meds around to 80% right now. Cap's gonna be almost taking cleanly stock now, trying to get some damage onto Cray, getting him down to about half health, and he's getting very low now. Cray's going to be the first to die. Actually, it was Jets, as PaulDog found that kill first, so 2 down for the side of Red. Alexander's did trade out. Now Nate is very low, 9 health. He will go down. Even Uber situation, but 3 down for the side of Red, as Strider died late now to Phone, and here comes the Soldier getting a bit of spam in onto Esper, but Stock is going to be the one able to clean that out. Random Cookie very low. He's going to be down to 20 health and getting out after that mid. Neither
Gungan with the jukes.
Yeah, Gungan's slippery right now, as it looks like he might be able to get out. Looking for some heals from his medic, he'll find them. Now an opportunity for the Nest to get ready to push right back in. It looks like Gungan wants to take this Uber or just get the point pressure back in. Half a minute off the clock for the side of KUOD Damage. Stock taking the 1v1. The Uber does finally come out from the side of Gungan, or onto Gungan, excuse me, from the side of the Nest. Not finding a lot of damage in this Uber though, as we're gonna hope to see a post-fight come in now onto point. Stock eating a little bit of damage, not too much. He's still got that overheal. We're gonna see, yeah, not a lot happening now. Cray getting very low actually. PaulDog finding some damage on the flank. Is going to try to get in there. Esper will trade out for PaulDog. Alexander's and Phone will take it out though. The collapse now coming in from the side of the Nest. Strider will die late for it from Nate, who is 94 health himself. But cap time is not quite there from the side of KUOD Damage. They will back out. About a 10% ad for Random Cookie to work with. How do you think KUOD Damage works this in?
Well, they got the respawn advantage to work with, so their players are here in a much more quick fashion, be able to get some extra presence and make sure this finally goes in their direction. But Random Cookie at 85% as well as Indus, so gonna see probably another Uber exchange eventually come out, but you have to make sure you get it first and no one dies until then. Gonna be a little bit of a scuffle in the house, but nothing too crazy that is permanent damage. But talk about permanent damage, that's PaulDog being sent to the grave. So no Soldier on the side of the blue team because Alexander's is inside the house, so Esper getting onto this point, but Phone in turn is doing the same to make sure things aren't necessarily going in the favor of the red team. Yet another scuffle on the side of the right, but Uber will finally come in from the side of the blue team. Counter will come from the red. Not a whole lot of damage. It's going to be one player down from the side of the blue team, so that is going to give the Nest the ability to be able to cap this up in their favor, but they're all the way back, getting back on the point, applying some extra pressure. Not a whole lot of kills, despite a decent amount of damage coming far in this fight, but it seems like Jets and Esper, actually Jets didn't even die, okay? It was PaulDog and Esper that were the ones that are dying. Have to be careful with your health, bombing in. Stock is going to die. Alexander's going in onto Cray, not able to quite hit the rocket, so ultimately 3 down for the side of KUOD. And Jets is behind too. They could get pinched right here.
Yeah, tough situation right now. Jets will actually die. Now the cap will come back for the side of Red. Medic getting very low there on that fight, but he was able to live. About a 20% dis ad for the side of the Nest as they try to cap. But they'll be coming in. Have to deal with Phone as he tries to hold on to this point with the help of Stock. Indus getting very low, and he is actually forced out now, trying to get in onto Indus right now. Indus
35 HP.
Excuse me, onto Random Cookie, who got very low, as you mentioned, 35 HP. He now has Uber, and they might just want to walk right back into with this, as Nate's going to go down on the side. Cap comes in for the side of the Nest. Here comes a bomb onto Random Cookie, and they do get the force, a great force there. PaulDog will die as well, and there goes Stock. So essentially a 3-man sack to get the force off, but unable to secure the med kill.
Yep. So at least they'll get the force, and with Esper dead, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to be able to actually get this forward hold down. It's not impossible, you still have all your spamming classes, but so far we've seen them be able to break pretty with relative ease, and it seems like it's going to be the case this time. Go ahead and walking through, nothing too crazy, and the race is going to go ahead and back up and make sure they're inside each of these houses and by the point to be able to defend against this potential Uber ad that could come in from Indus. Things have been a little bit slow, so we'll have to see if things happen in their favor, but Jets immediately going in as well as Cray. They want to be able to collect this frag, but Indus, he was dodging like crazy, but it seems like the sack is going to be the play to make sure they're able to hold on to this. Alex trying to go in for Random Cookie, but a little bit too far, not able to quite find anything. So good play and good call from the side of the red team, recognizing that things might not have necessarily gone in their favor. Just go ahead and sack, get Indust, and fight for another day. Although, you have to be careful. Jets just died to a trap, and there's 30 seconds left, so you really have to make sure that this goes well. 85% on the side of Random Cookie, and there's a couple people that aren't there on the side of KUOD, so they'll get some early positioning, but I'm sure that KUOD is eventually going to show up and make sure that this force does not go without PaulDog, make sure he wreaks havoc once again behind.
Yeah, here we go. We're gonna have to see RGLgg getting very low. We're gonna see if anybody is able to collapse in on him, and the force does come through after a bomb from Alexandros securing the force. Nate's gonna go down, and now Dog, so 3 down for the side of KUOD Damage as they do have to try to get this cap in. Again, down around golden cap opportunity right now for the Nest, so if they're able to hold on to this for just 1 more minute, unlikely situation, got the disat to work against, but definitely want to try to hold on to this as well as possible. Stock is going to get caught out by Strider. He was unable to find the heals. Yeah, he was too far forward now, but Jets is going to trade out. Actually, Nate able to find that frag. Now pressure coming in by phone onto point as they are almost at Uber to work with. Cap's going to come in, 20 seconds on the clock. The side of Nest has to come in here soon. We're going to see them regroup a little bit, waiting for Gunkin, but Strider might go down late here. He's going to find a little bit of heals as he finally gets out. 10 seconds left on the clock. It's desperation plays right now from the side of the Nest to try to not let this get evened up. Phone is doing a great job holding it down right now. We're going to probably see an Uber come in, though, from Indus very soon. So far, not even popping. We're going to see Alexandros actually die early. Esper's onto point. Why haven't they used yet? They're just going to let RGLgg able to build this up as they are in overtime. Indus is very low, getting down below 30 health. Hasn't even popped yet, but RGLgg is going to use that out. And now here comes KUOD Damage, finally trying to clean this up. As Cray is going to get caught out, as is RGLgg, and that will likely clean it up. And we are in a 3-3 game. Golden cap coming in.
It was a bit of a risky play. I think they probably thought that RGLgg already had it, didn't even realize it was ad, but ends up working out for them, able to collect that very, very close round. So we're gonna have to go into another mid fight here and see who will start out the very last round of this match in the favorites when it comes to the time on the clock. Once again, gonna see another mid where soldiers are not necessarily bombing straight off the bat. Only saw one of those mids so far this match, and it seems like that is going to be the way it is. Gonna have to spot out the best you can in terms of how everyone's set up. Stock trying to take some positioning on the point, but not without Gungan spamming him back as well. So gonna be a little bit of cap time in the favor of blue team. Well, actually, a lot of cap time. Red has to make sure that this isn't just necessarily go in the way of the blue team, but Alex is gonna fall inside the house a little bit too deep, not necessarily finding what you want. They are gonna get some decent damage onto Esper and Co, so they're gonna be able to get just damage, but not a whole lot of kills. Thought that things were gonna go in their favor with that, but not able to quite find the mark and have enough focus fire. But Ubers could come in play. They let the cap go, and they will start to run across the point. Phone's gonna drop though. The misplay. They didn't block the point, and they dropped their scout. It's a very disastrous position to be in. So now the Nest in a very, very good position to hold this for the long term. But I can only imagine that KUOD will do a sack pretty soon to try to force RGLgg Uber.
Yeah, RGLgg's backing out already, playing it very safe. Alexandros trying to get in on that sack as you anticipated. Cap does come in for the side of KUOD Damage. They're try to build this up and spawn as best they can, so trying to do as much damage as they can without their med. Stark actually finding Strider with a pipe, so unable to find the med, but trading out 1 for 1 as they are now at 60% Uber. We're going to see, Medic's going to start coming forward here to try to take this fight as a team. The side of the Nest is holding on to Concrete right now. Esper on point, securing that cap, making sure no cap time comes in from Phone, who is being very aggressive. Almost full Uber now for the side of Indus. We might see them just walk across point as Phone and Stock are both in position there. Indus actually taking a lot of spam.
Oh my God.
Down to 18 health, does not use. He will be getting out, though, to make sure he does not die. He's gonna pick up a health kit, and now, oh no, they're going to lose 2. They don't even use quite yet. Both scouts going down. That's going to make it really hard. The Uber does come in. It's just going to be on projectiles. Strider goes down. Uber gets popped out from the other side of things. Now there's a demo jumping in all the way in onto Indus. Are they able to find him? No, as Stock was there at the right moment, right time to keep his medic alive. Bit of an ad for Indus, but we'll see how this works out. About even Ubers actually now.
Yep, gonna be a little bit of scout MGE that happening inside the house, but it's gonna quickly turn into 2v1 if it lasts too long. It's gonna end up not ultimately trying to chase that down and just be okay with making sure that you're able to get some sort of push happening here. A lot of captain on the side of blue team. Have to be careful though. Cray getting in very, very deep, able to kill Phone. Gonna trade his health a little bit for it, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be okay in his department. Dog is actually gonna die inside the house as well as Alexander, so no soldiers each in either house. Both end up taking 1v1s, both lose them. Not the place you want to be in, so what could have been a retake for them ended up not quite going their way. So red team in a decent position with a lot of time on the clock and another forward hold to be able to try to prevent the blue team from coming towards the point.
Yeah, and Nate gets absolutely deleted, and so does Dog actually, so 2 down early for KUOD, and no, Indus drops! He's gonna get taken out with some sticks from Cray. Think that was a trap. And now Stock trying to sack in, see if he can find the medic. Unable to, gets a decent bit of pressure in. Now a few other frags coming in. Polydog's going to swap onto Sniper, see if he can get the drop onto Random Cookie to really open things up, as there's only 20 seconds left on the clock, so KUOD Damage trying to stay alive here, as so far the Nest has done really great in this round. We're going to see Stock kind of just walking across point. Alexander's going to die to a Cray pipe, and Gungan's actually going to die to a Stock pipe. A lot of pipes going. Either way, the Uber did come out there from Random Cookie. He did get forced, as now pressure onto point from the side of Red once again. Only 7 seconds on the clock. Stock knows this. He's going to try to jump in, but Cray is going to hit him with a pipe right to the face. Almost overtime situation. KUOD Damage just able to get onto clock, onto cap, excuse me, but it is overtime, so dangerous situation. He just holding on there. Bit of server lag for me, but looks like wasn't a pause, so situation right now with a Sniper to hold onto point. This is a dicey bit of time for KUOD Damage.
Yeah, they got a Sniper, which could be decent for defense, but if the red team actually gets in, it could be not that great, especially because the angle the red team is pushing. You have an Uber to work with, so you have to make sure you're able to use it in at least some capacity to make sure that Random Cookie dies. He's playing very, very passive, so you can't really pull the trigger quite yet. Definitely want to see him not accidentally take a bunch of like random 1v1s that they will accidentally lose. Definitely have to play around your Sniper, but a Soldier is going to be the thing that gets on the Indus, not quite getting a whole lot of damage, so it's going to be fine at the end of the day. Continue to apply pressure. Phone is going to drop onto the point though, and will die, so that's one scout down. Uber will come out onto Scott. First, Random Cookie in the air, able to get him and a headshot on a crate too, so no demo. Able to collect the scout as well, so just 3 people left alive on the side of the nest. Gonna have Gungan try to go in, but not able to quite find anything, as the rest of the Soldier will come in soup. One bomb in, not quite finding the mark. Jets getting 2 people inside each other's models, and even though he's not able to get the medic, that kill onto Stock and Alexandros could be the hole in the KUOD defense that the Nest needs to be able to dry push this second attempt at a 6v4.
Yeah, Polydog's still on Sniper. Almost a 6v3 situation if he's unable to get some picks. Phone's going to be the first to die, so very dicey situation. There goes Nate as well, as it's now Indus going down, and Cap comes in. Nest taking it. GG's in chat all around. A 4-3 win for the Nest. Their first against a non-move-up team, so well done from them.
Yeah, they definitely took their revenge. As like we said before, the last time these teams faced, it was a 5-4 on process in favor of KUOD, but definitely shows that a lot of practice can beat invite experience as long as you try hard enough. So good job for them taking this very, very close match. Taking a look at the stats here. Once again, is this a deja vu? I immediately look at Cray's stats and it's like almost the same number. It's not. It's different logs. Last time Cray's DPM was 474. This time it's 472. But definitely going back to reaching near 500 DPM marks for this match on Bagel, and they definitely did a good job at making sure they made the adjustments they need to put Random Cookie's death back to a very, very low number, as well as enabling Cray as much as they possibly can to make sure he can pump out the damage to be able to have these frags collected. This is like, realistically, this is a complete mirror almost of what the stats looked like in the first half spare thing or two. So it makes sense that the Nest are able to take it at the end of the day. You know, they definitely made the adjustments that were necessary.
Yeah, the Nest are able to close this out. We'll pull up combined now, so I can take a look at those. But great play all around here in a 4-3 win.
Yep, on the side of KUOD, you know, Alex not necessarily having the best game, but with the amount of sacks you have to do, you know, sometimes Roamer stats just look like that, and that's just how it is. Stock putting out some decent damage, and Phone and Nate do a good job at making sure that kills were secured for their team overall, but at the end of the day, it is not quite enough for them to be able to secure this match. So it'll be a 1 match by the Nest as we move on into the next week. So both these teams, I don't think they're necessarily, they're not anywhere near playoff contention, but it will matter for, you know, postseason happenings and whether or not a team gets moved up or moved down, I can only imagine. So obviously a win here was important for the longevity of both these teams if they want to continue to make sure that their place in invite is here to stay. So that'll be it when it comes to these teams matching up, and it'll just be them playing their neighboring teams to figure out who is going to be under the red line.
Yeah, we now have some interviews coming in. We got Strider. Don't know if we'll have anybody else, but GG tonight, Strider.
Dude.
They're coming.
Yeah,
Wonderful
they're
to hear. Well, we can start out with you. Congrats on a pretty close win, but definitely a fun one to watch. How do you feel about that?
Feels really good. I didn't know if we were going to get another win, honestly, this season. So it's pretty good. We like won against HR team, and I mean, we're low invite. It's kind of the struggle. So getting another win in feels super good. I think I definitely speak for the rest of my teammates on that.
Well, we do have a lot of the
Hello.
team here. Congrats on
Pretty
a fun
excited.
match. Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
great
shout
one
out-
to watch.
Shout out to Sandblast for the mid-game pep talk.
Yeah, mid-game pep talk, Sandblast.
Shout out to Joe.
Shout out
With
to
us the whole
Joe for
time.
sure. Shout out to Joe.
So who was the one that decided to play Bagel? Obviously, map pick is a very important thing. Last time you guys played, you played Process. That was a very close match. This time you switched over to KUOD. Was there a specific strat or idea behind that, or did
well,
anyone coin that?
Just us as a team, we've scrimmed Bagel a lot, and we saw. Well, at least I don't know. Everyone was on my team thought that KUOD wasn't very practiced on Bagel. We saw KUOD's match versus Froyo. They didn't really seem very prepared, and they didn't seem like they wanted to play Bagel. So
It
we
was also
thought Bagel
me
was a
and
good pick.
Jets last season. Our team last season in Div 1, we played a lot of Koth. We
Yeah.
played a lot of
Yeah,
like.
well, this
clear
team
cut,
is
we
kind of a
played lot
KUOD
Bagel.
team from like
Yeah.
So
from
me
the
and Jets
beginning
had a
of the
lot of
season.
Koth experience. So
Yeah,
we just figured
another-
we're like a Koth
another,
players.
Consideration was that like we're playing against like players who are a lot like veteran, who are maybe like not that familiar with the new maps. Like
Yeah.
Nate Rivers and Paul Dog are like and Indust are like super like ancient players. So we're hoping like they have like way more experience than us on like all like the process and gully wash and stuff. So we take it to a new map, maybe have some kind of advantage.
That makes sense. So talk to me a little bit about after the second half, where the other team kind of made some adjustments after you kind of showed what you were capable of in the first half. I think you said earlier that you got a little pep talk and definitely had a lot of time to make sure that you guys had plenty of things to talk about and what adjustments you would want to make in terms of things that need to be changed. So can you give us a little insight on what happened after the second half to
That's
kind
on-
of flip things around?
That's on Gungan. He gave us the pep talk.
So their team was the way they adjusted is they just got way more aggressive and they were doing things a lot faster, and basically having that 3-0 lead in the very beginning was so helpful, honestly, because like
Yeah.
it gave us so much time to figure out exactly what they were doing that was like messing us up. And
Honestly,
then,
they just like straightened up their play. Like we would get a lot of like picks from from the flank, and it created a lot of space for our combo to walk forward and do stuff. And when that stopped happening, I feel like our combo players got shut down more. So
yeah, it got a bit chaotic
their
once they
demo,
changed
like,
up.
I think the biggest thing was their demo stopped bleeding, and it prevented us from like he just got like a lot of space for their team, so we didn't have a lot of room to work things out. But we started playing the point a lot better, and I think we actually got like almost like 40 seconds of just like us denying the cap from them. It was pretty insane at one point.
All right, well, we're reaching near the end of the season, so there's not tons and tons to look forward to, but there are still matches to be played in your schedule. You have Rebirth, Global Clan Ice, Witness Gaming, and Chrondrome. Do you have any things that you're anticipating or looking out for when it comes to how the rest of your season is going to go?
I'm looking forward to playing Cronj again a lot.
Yeah.
Our last
Yeah,
match
we-
was super close.
We could be
Like,
Cronj.
Oh, we had like the same kind of like 3-1 lead over Cronj, but we actually choked it and lost instead of
Yeah.
coming back like we did this time. It's actually
And,
on, like, the exact same
for the other
map, too.
teams, I think we're just gonna try to get as many rounds and do as well as possible against the other teams, because we're not really expected to win. But if we can slip in a win, that would be cool.
That's fair.
Yeah, it definitely will be a fun match to watch, if possible. That's about it for me, although one person in chat is begging to know what's the consensus on ducks. Just humor him, please.
Ducks
They're
are
cute.
cool.
I like ducks.
pretty
Ducks are
cool.
cute.
All
Ducks
right.
remind me of the Prinny Hat. Prinny Hat's pretty awesome.
Well, there you go. It's been settled, so he can stop asking in chat. But great game tonight, guys. Fun to watch as always. Any shoutouts real quick before we wrap things up?
Sandblast.
And Flats.
Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
Definitely shout out
Yen,
to Joe for sure. For sure.
Shout out Cookie Jake.
Jake.
Shout out Body.
Shout out Mr. Slyn.
Shout out
Shout out to Big
Caps.
Bang campaign.
Caps is my number one idol.
Shout out, little guy.
Cringe.
Got a logo, yeah.
That's about it.
Alrighty, and Jarrett, anything from you?
Just shout out to Dolphin as always for production.
The Dolphin's cool.
Alrighty, yeah, shout out to Dolphin, of course. Jarrett, one of the best casters that I've worked with, so shout out to him as well. And shout out to my brother, because it's his birthday tonight. But that will be
Happy
it for
birthday.
us.
Your birthday.
And yeah, this has been the Nest versus KUOD Damage. The Nest taking it in the end, very close, but I have been the Godfather. I've been joined by Jarrett on the mic and Dolphin behind the scenes. Have a good night.